Hmm. Um, I love South Florida. I love Miami. I love all my artists that I've found that have been 110% genuine. But I do have to admit that there is a ton of people trying to exploit this business. And the fact that there's new artists that are so hungry that are willing to pay anything for any type of attention. And that sucks.
Young bass guy, and I'm bass with the Martians, 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 Martians.
This is the Mars Files, powered by 1AM Radio. It's your boy Mars 3 times. We are live at M7 Recordings, and today I'm here with Galeano.
Hello.
I said that right?
You got it.
Okay. So you came to the Aux Wars.
Yes.
Killed your set.
Thank you.
You stuck around for a little after everybody performed, and I appreciate that. So that's why I had you come, and so we could do the interview today. I kind of wanted to start at the beginning. Where are you from?
So I am Colombian. I was born in Colombia, Bogota, and raised in New York, and now I reside here. And your video sucks, by the way. And
Good call.
I am, yeah, no worries. And right now I stay in Broward.
Okay, how old were you when you moved from Colombia?
I was 8 months old.
Okay.
So literally, I was made and shipped off to America.
Okay, and then how old were you when you moved from New York to Florida?
I was 15. So
Okay.
I spent 15 years in New York marinating in the good ass music that was that time.
Was it hard when you were 15 to like move and leave all your friends and come to Florida?
It was horrible. Oh my god, I hated it.
How did you feel? Like
It was like,
what was like your first reaction when your parents were like, "Hey, we're moving to Florida"?
I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? And the worst part was that when we first got down here, my mom decided to we stayed with my grandfather in North Miami Beach, and then she got an apartment in Davie. Now, Davie around that time, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it really looks old Western. You know, even the
Yeah.
McDonald's and everything. Yeah. So I'm from White Plains, New York. So that's super city. You feel me?
Yeah.
You have all types of people. And, excuse me, when I came down here and I saw that, I was like, what the fuck? What kind of Twilight Zone episode am I in that you did this to me? What did I do to you to shit on my life like this? I was so mad at my mom.
That's crazy.
It was crazy because you totally feel there's like a cultural shift, and it feels like you're in a different continent almost, because everything is different. Like, even the way that you ask for bud out here, it was completely different than from New York. So it was from even studying, because I was in regular classes, but I came down here, I was in ninth grade taking junior classes, So everything was different. From the way I didn't even understand that I talked different from everybody else. So I thought that I was talking okay. People would be like, "Oh, what are you saying?" Like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to adapt. It took me a good year to be okay.
What high school did you go to? A bunch?
So many. So before we got to Davie, I was actually out in Kendall, and I went to Miami Sunset High for a little bit. That was a hell of a shit show. No offense to anybody that went there, but that school was something else. And then from there, I went up to Broward, and that was Hollywood Hills, Stranahan, and then from Stranahan, I dropped out and got my GED in Plantation.
Did you drop out because just switching high schools and stuff was like a lot, or you were just over school?
Actually, it was awesome because, and I say awesome in the most sarcastic way, they lost my papers. So I was in Stranahan, and I was supposed to be a junior. And when junior year started, I was called into my advisor's office or guidance counselor at that point, and they were like, "Yo, you have 6 credits." I'm like, "What the fuck you mean I got 6 credits?"
They lost your papers?
They lost my papers, my
Oh my
transcripts,
god.
everything. Yeah. So I was forced to either do high school all over again or drop out, and I dropped out. I wasn't doing that shit again.
Jesus. There was like no, like, you couldn't have, like, I don't know, like, there was no solution?
We tried, but it was just my mom and I, you know, and
Yeah.
my mom does what she can, so at that point, you know, it was like she took it up as far as it got, but their excuse, you know, they couldn't do anything. They lost my papers, they weren't going to just give it to me, blah, 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 and it's like, for me, it was incredulous because it's like, how am I coming here for like a year and a half, and all of a sudden, you know, you don't have my papers.
Yeah.
So, it was something.
Yeah, that sounds super rough. I mean, how did that affect you? You were like...
Well, at the end of the day, I really didn't like my school.
Okay.
So, and I already had a job and everything, and when that happened, I was already like over it. I was super over it. So I was just like, my guidance counselor came, or actually it wasn't my guidance counselor, it was, because I got into a verbal argument with my guidance counselor, and she didn't want me back in her office. I called her a cunt. Oops.
Yikes. Jesus.
But, you know, you get over it. I mean, time passes, and whatever it is that you're going through, you definitely get over it, and it makes you a little bit stronger, a little bit wiser. And you kind of learn a lesson, you know, you always want to be on top of your things. It doesn't matter how old you are. Like, that's something that, you know, if you have kids, you should always make sure that your kids, you know, they have their stuff, and they're kind of like their own person, you know, because a lot of parents like to baby their kids and not let them grow to be their own person and take care of all their shit. So if they forget something, boom, it hits them, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a lesson that I learned, you know, always be on top of your shit. Always, 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 always. It doesn't matter in college, business, especially business, you know. You always have to know exactly what's going on in every aspect that has to do with you.
Okay. And then, I guess moving forward a little, like, how'd you get into music?
Oh, music has always been in my life. My uncle he actually graduated college in Colombia, had a master's in music, and he studied music, and he came here, and he had this group named Avalon, and he actually won a Billboard award. Like, it was a contest though for best written song, and it was really, really good. And I used to watch him. When he came to live out here, and I would come out here before we actually moved. He would take me to the warehouses. They actually look like this, and I would always watch him practice. He would have like a free keyboard on the side, and pretend that I'm part of the band. Like, bam, bam, bam. It wasn't connected or anything, you know. But I would watch him, and that was basically it. I watched him throughout his whole process of recording and making things and making it happen, and it was like infectious. On top of that, music was always present in my house. I don't know if you're of Latin background, but my mom, to clean anything, or it was cleaning day, it was music from 8 a.m. to like 6 p.m. all day. All types of music. And it was good music too. It was like that good salsa, Grupo Fania, Camilo Sesto.
You know what's funny is I actually am Spanish, but I'm not a big fan of Spanish music at all.
Not even the classics?
No. You know what I do like though, as of recently, like I've gotten into like Spanish trap, so I'm like a big Bad Bunny fan.
Oh, okay.
But like I'm also like not like I'm Spanish, but like I kind of like struggle speaking Spanish. Like I could speak it, but I struggle a little.
Were you born here?
Yeah, I was born here.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess that's like besides the point. But like, how did you get into like recording music? Like,
so recording music, I mean, so it took me a while, I guess, to actually say I'm gonna do this. I've always dabbled in music. As I grew up, I had little groups here and there, but I never actually went into a studio and took it upon myself to actually do something about it, you know? Until I was in AI. I was going for graphic design, and I had this class, HTML. I fucking hated it. I hated that class. I never got coding. Coding was really difficult.
At AI, coding is one of the like prerequisites?
Yes. To make, I guess it was like a web design class, or it was for the web design class, so I had to know coding. But that was when I just started writing songs. I stopped paying attention and I started writing songs during class. And then one day I was like, oh my God, I'm literally paying to do nothing because I'm not doing anything in these classes. And I lost interest. So I dropped out, and then within the week that I dropped out, I went and I paid Pima City. Shout out to Pima City. I did my first track, Feel Like I'm Falling, which is on SoundCloud. It's completely different from what I do now, but that was when I decided I'm over this. I'm over not following what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you say it was different, like, what was it about it that was so different than what you're doing now?
When?
Like the song that you recorded?
Oh, it's more like it has a housey early 90s type vibe. And right now what I'm doing, Friendly Skies, which is about to drop, it's more of like a R&B alternative. I really don't know. I'd love for you to listen to it and tell me what kind of genre it is. 'Cause
Yeah.
it just kind of sounds like everything that I listen to in one. You heard Cotton Candy Kush.
Yeah.
And I co-produced that. I was in the studio with Frederick, shout out to Fred, for like almost 2 years. I did Friendly Skies, and that was amazing. Being a part of absolutely everything that went into that project was exhilarating. It was a complete antidepressant, because during that time, some of that time, a good portion of that time, I was losing one of the most important people in my life. Well, the most important person in my life, should I say, and that's my grandmother. I lost her to cancer. So it was a really, really, really bad time for me. Like, I didn't know what to do aside from just go to the studio and work on music. I would get to the studio, and there were times where I was bawling the entire day. My eyes, I'd look like Garfield. I didn't have a voice. And I would just sit there and we would bang out Waves. Waves was banged out in that era, in like that month. And it was just constant. And that was the only release that I had.
Wow. You said it took you 2 years to record the project that you're about to drop?
Yeah.
Why did it take so long?
Well, mostly it was what I was going through. And on top of that, it's been so many setbacks. And I'm a perfectionist. It's so annoying. When I go record something, if I don't like it, I'm like, again. They'll be like, no, I want to do it again. Save that one, but I want another one. And over and over and over again. And that's something that I've actually heard that's one of our worst things as artists.
Yeah.
Is, we like to be perfect with our craft. And sometimes, the imperfections is what makes it beautiful. So that's what I'm trying to get used to.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, don't you feel like 2 years on one project is almost like counterproductive? Because like...
Yes. You're completely right. In every sense. You have no idea how much I want to be over with and just release it.
When does it come out?
I'm aiming for early August.
Is it done already?
It's almost done. It's being mixed and mastered right now.
Okay, how many songs is it?
It's 8.
8 songs?
Yes.
Okay. And I mean, what's the plan after?
Well, now that as soon as I was done recording it, I started doing a side project, which is a mixtape called Kush.
Okay.
And that's what I'm working on right now. But for Friendly Skies, what I'd like to do afterwards would definitely be to, book little tours, something, little performances here and there for promotion and see where it goes. And then, definitely drop Kush. I have some really cool artists, local artists that are going to be on there. It's going to be a surprise.
Oh, you can't tell me?
I can't tell you.
Okay.
I can't tell you, but they're all quality people. Quality people.
Okay. I guess, moving forward after you drop the mixtape, what's the 5-year plan? Like, where do you see yourself right now from 5 years from now?
Well, I'm also going to school for music engineering at Broward College.
Okay.
So once that's done, I really, really, really would love to start producing, going into scores. I would love to compose and move towards, like behind the scenes and things of that nature. Not hopefully. it will drop, and it's going to go #1, an album, and maybe dabble in some acting, but definitely composing and doing scores would be in my 5-year plan.
How do you how do you feel about the South Florida scene? Like, do you ever feel like you need to move somewhere to get your music bigger?
I love South Florida. I love Miami. I love all my artists that I've found that have been 110% genuine. But I do have to admit that there is a ton of people trying to exploit this business. And the fact that there's new artists that are so hungry that are willing to pay anything for any type of attention. And that sucks. Because when you fall into that, it's really hard to find somebody that will just give you a platform because they believe in you and because they see that you have talent. Most of the time, it's how much can you pay or what's your following. Half of the time, most of those people that have a huge following are robots. So it's like, it hurts. So yeah, it kind of feels, when I went to LA, it was kind of different. It was more like Ox Wars. I mean, that's one of the first things that I said to you was, this is amazing. This is dope. I paid $10 and I was able to give you a performance, give you a show and meet you, versus paying $100 or $75 to have a shitty platform. There's 1,001 artists. There's nobody that's really there to see you. They're just there to perform, and that's what it is. And then you go home. And you got no streams. Yeah. You got no new fans. You don't have a you didn't get anything aside from maybe experience, practice.
How do you think you fix that? Like, what has to change?
I think the amount of people running things and, how big they're getting.
What do you mean?
Because a lot of artists, a lot of artists kind of, our circle, I kind of know a lot of the same faces, and we kind of fall into, there's certain events that go on, and it's the same event. It happens over and over again. Like, your event is probably maybe the only one that's actually genuine, that actually cares about, us. Everybody else, it just feels like they're just after money. That's it. They're not really after quality, making something happen for somebody and, seeing them grow. They're not really after that. They're after, this makes a lot of money. Look how many unsigned artists there are. Look at the demographic. I mean, yeah, if you're looking for money, I guess it's a good idea. It's the same thing as, the Bud events underground. Some of them, most of them, all they can offer you are parties. So yeah, if that's what you want to do, cool. But if you want to grow and you want to make something and you want to have quality over quantity, you got to start off somewhere humble and, pick it up and make it bigger, make it known. I don't know, maybe do tours. I'm not sure, but it's just make it bigger than what these other people are doing. And I feel like Oxford is definitely there.
I mean, in what way though? Because at the same time, obviously, I think the show's dope. It's my show. But at the same time though, it's just when you think about it, it really just is a bunch of people performing.
Yeah.
I'm just playing devil's advocate right now. What really makes it different?
Well, the fact that I didn't have to drop $60 to $100 to come see you, and to get this right here. The fact that I didn't have to stress myself out to the point where I'm like, oh my God, I can't even smoke because I'll heighten my anxiety type of shit. I never got that. And this is the second time that I come to Oxford. With other shows, it's like they put so much pressure, and at the end you go there and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Really? How do you become bigger? I don't know. Just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe have stronger promotion, maybe go on tours and start promoting in different areas aside from Florida, like, LA or Atlanta or New York, and have an Oxford there too, for those artists as well, and have people see that your quality, your personality and your energy speaks volumes as well.
Really? You feel like that?
For real.
I feel like I'm boring sometimes.
Honestly. It's okay. You could be boring but a good person. You don't have to, you You know how many animated motherfuckers there are? They're such pieces of shit. You walk away like, ugh. Ugh. You know?
I feel you. I feel you.
I know you do.
So you smoke a lot of weed or what?
I do.
How much do you think you smoke a day?
Etty, help me. I don't know, a day? Damn. A week, I could tell you that maybe every 4 days I could clear a queue.
Like a quarter? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a QP.
No. I don't know if I'd be able to talk.
Blunts or joints?
Joints.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you a big Wiz Khalifa fan?
Yes.
What's your favorite Wiz song?
Favorite Wiz song, In the Cut.
Good one.
Love that song to death. I'm not a huge fan of his last project, but his earlier ones.
I honestly fell off of Wiz after Cushion Orange Juice.
Really?
Yeah. I think like once he got a girlfriend, it just wasn't the same.
He got emotional.
Yeah.
He needs to go back to weed.
Yeah.
Cushion OJ was great though. That was an amazing work of art.
Yeah, I remember I saw him in Tallahassee, and it was just like unreal.
Wow.
I was like so drunk at the end of the night, like on the balcony, just screaming, "Taylor Ganger, die!"
Yes.
Just wasted, just destroyed.
Did you have Chucks on?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think
That
so.
would have been almost perfect.
It would have. It would have. So yeah, if somebody's never heard your music, what's the first song they should listen to?
Cotton Candy Kush, which is out.
I already asked you that.
Did you?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You kind of didn't talk to me after my performance.
My bad. My head was spinning.
Did I leave you spinning? Hey, y'all heard it here first.
But yeah, so Cotton Candy Kush, and that's available
everywhere. iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Amazon.
What do you think is stopping you from like blowing up, from being like the biggest thing ever?
What is stopping me? Right now the lack of promotion and marketing.
How do you fix that?
How do I fix that? I need to put a lot of money into it. Basically that's what it is. Right now I'm just trying to stack up so that I can properly promote Friendly Skies. Because again, as you could tell, you know, I put a lot into Friendly Skies. So
Yeah.
I definitely don't just want to release it and just let it
go away.
You know, maybe, you know, like I really, 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 really want it to like blow up, and I feel like it can. I feel like there's a lot of tracks on this project that are very cinematic. Like it's going to take you through a nice little whirlwind, and it's a great way, you know, to accompany it with a blunt or a smoke session. It's meant for that. It's really meant for you to sit back, relax, and just enjoy a story that I'm about to tell you. And it's really a story that comes from my mind and my heart and some of the darkest places that I reside at. And I try to put it there, and it's something that I know that can take off.
Okay. I mean, do you struggle with depression?
A little.
How do you deal with it?
After my grandmother died, I dealt with it in a lot of unhealthy ways. But as time passes, you try to see things in a different perspective. I get kind of tired of seeing things from the same perspective. So sometimes I take a step back. It took me a while. I was pretty, you know, I retracted from a lot of things for like a good month or two. And that was a lot of people that I didn't talk to. I didn't go out. I didn't do anything. And then, you know, I started meditating. And working out like super hard because you have this anger. Like for me, depression comes in different colors. For me, it was a lot of anger. So, and that's pent up energy. So the more that I work out and the more that I smoke, I get so tired that I can only process positive thoughts and positive feelings. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it does not work. But you try your best over and over and over again. And music has always been an outlet. Writing has always been an outlet. and working out and just being outside in the sun, that's a major plus for me.
I hate the sun. I'm like a vampire.
You sound like one. I hate the sun.
I did that for effect. Earlier you were talking about, or like just like 2 minutes ago, you were saying you're saving up money to spend on marketing. Like, how does an artist know like where to spend their money on marketing?
Oh my God, do research, please, for the love of God, do research. There's so many people, like I said, there's so many people out there that are willing to make a buck off of you. So if you do not know and you just go up to somebody like, hey, help me, that's not going to work. Just go on forums, go Google it. Yo, Google is your best friend. Just like YouTube is a university that you don't pay for, Google is your best friend. You can fucking find forums, find things. I like to start finding what's most popular and start contrasting, seeing what they have, what they don't have, seeing if they have negative reviews, if they have positive reviews, what they are, and then just start comparing and seeing what's best.
So you're like going through like a PR company or something?
I may. Right now I'm looking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have any pointers, or if you're gonna have like a seminar or something, I want to know about this. I need it.
I guess, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you want to touch on? You got the album coming out in August. You're not really sure what day in August, though?
No, not sure. I don't want to put a date, because every time I put a date, something happens and it never falls through. So no dates this time.
Sometimes, though, if you like put out a date and then it doesn't come out, it like almost helps the rollout.
It does?
Because, like, I don't know, you ever like seen like Lil Wayne will say he's dropping an album on this day, and then he's like, psych, gotcha.
Okay, if I do that to you guys, you know where it came from.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, okay, I
Sometimes
see.
it like builds anticipation, if you're telling them one day and then it doesn't come out that day,
Well, right now I'm trying to work on my skills for Final Cut, so if I could start putting together like little trailer types, then I'll put a date. And
okay.
I'll tag you. I'll give you full credit for this one. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I guess, do you have any shout outs or anything you want to say before?
I want to shout out Ethy for coming. She's the shit. Shout out Green Alchemist. They're awesome. Check them out. Great bud. LA Kush. Frederick. Friendly Skies. Chronic, who's working on Friendly Skies right now. Definitely Oxwords, Mars. Thank you so much. I finally made it, guys. Finally. You're going to hear all about this on Twitter.
Alright, this is the Mars Files. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.